Okay, here we go. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and today we're talking about this latest episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, in which our characters are all on a secret mission. And it's so secret, even they don't know what's going on. We get set up in a courtroom. This is a courtroom very much like the courtroom that was in Star Trek Six: The Undiscovered Country, where Kirk and McCoy are in this dock and in the circle. And there's a Klingon prosecutor with an eye patch, which is also in this particular situation. And if they don't answer the question, there's a vat of eels that they get lowered into. Meanwhile, the senior officers are all suspended in some kind of beam in one corner. And each of our ensigns are asked what went on. And this was revealed during the episode that they were on a secret mission. But the joke that went through the episode was that not one of them really knew what was going on. And the situation is pretty much what we've seen in every episode, is that they have their own things going. They're cleaning the holodeck. They're wiping down the tables in the conference rooms. They're in replacing isolinear chips. They are doing things that are mostly pretty mundane. And so to be put on a secret mission is very exciting, but they're not told any more about what's going on in the main part of the ship than any other time. And so we have each of the ensigns trying to tell the story of what went on, and not any of them really having the full story or understanding how they got where they were and why they're being asked these things. And so it was an interesting episode along that line. And in the course of this episode, we know that they have stolen from Vulcan in a museum an old Klingon bird of prey, the type that was used in the original series, which was this ship that had a bird painted on it. And it's the only time this ship was actually used in the when they redid the special effects for the original series. They placed another bird of prey in another episode where they needed it and did not use it again originally. But be that as it may, the only other time we've seen a ship like this is in Picard, where one of the warlords is actually using this ancient ship as his attack ship. They show in various recollections Assault Vampire, which was used in the first aired episode of the original series. They talk about Romulus and Remus in passing, which, of course, Romulus and Remus are the two main planets of the Romulan Star Empire. They mention the Dr. Crusher and the Scottish planet she was on, which lists probably a good candidate for the worst TNG episode. They also talk about Picard quoting Shakespeare, a Klingon being transported in a torpedo tube, and also we have stellar cartography, a reference to Space Seed, a demonstration of the Klingon hello, and Q, which is actually voiced by John Delancey. And I only mention it here because it doesn't spoil the plot, because he really has nothing to do with anything except having been mentioned, used in a flashback. But it's still quite an interesting episode, just for the pile of things that they've thrown into it, and not really made much of a coherent episode. And what's really funny about it is at the end, Boimler actually ask the questions of why did they steal it when they could have borrowed it? Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Basically pointing out all of the plot holes in the episode. Kind of the way that maybe a character like a fan would do if we were actually in a Star Trek episode. We might be asking those questions. Why didn't you just turn around? Why didn't you just, not step into the beam? These kind of things that would be obvious to us watching, but completely oblivious by the members of the crew. And in this case, we have a character here that points that out. And because of that, I find that kind of interesting. Also, Kurtwood Smith, who was played a part in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, provided a voice of a main character in here. So that's what we can say about this. Oh, I missed the Vulcan shuttle. They used a Vulcan shuttle that was only used in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and let's see. We see a lot more of who is the head of security. We see a little bit more of Jack Ransom, the first officer, and of course the captain and the doctor, and things such as this. So an interesting episode. I don't know that it's my favorite, but it did have some things to keep you watching, even if you don't have any more idea of what's going on than the ensigns did, which I don't. So I'd like to know what you think about it. Please put it in the comments. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe, because we need subscribers, and we need you to tell all your friends to watch our episodes here. We have 3 more of these to go, and then the 3rd season of Star Trek Discovery will begin, and we will review that. Also, near the end of this month, the Mandalorian is going to come back to Disney Plus, and we'll be doing videos on that as well. So, until the next Star Trek Lower Decks, don't go far.